Evening everybody, Rich here, back for another video for the Diecast F1 review. Here today is the Mclaren Honda MP4-6 from the 1991 Formula 1 World Championship, and in the car is Ayrton Senna, of course. Now 1991 started out as what many people probably thought was going to be another McLaren versus Ferrari season, but sadly Ferrari fell back and became basically also ran, so McLaren's main rival that year was going to be Williams, and a hard fought season it was going to be. Although it wasn't all like that. McLaren started the season as the favourites and won the first 4 races, or at least Senna did, and would win another 4 races that season, 8 in total. And teammate Gerhard Berger, although not having the same amount of luck, still managed to pick up a victory at Suzuka that year. Honda producing a V12 engine that year. Although Senna was not happy with the V12 engine, it still managed to propel him to his 3rd World Championship, sadly his last. But it would be sort of Honda's last glory time in Formula 1 really. They would not achieve the same amount of glory even up to today's standards with the 2018 Honda. It's something to be said. But the last of the glory days of Honda was 1991. McLaren that year, like I say, picking up the Drivers' Championship, 1 race to go, and I think the Constructors' Championship at the same race, being Suzuka. After that, Mansell had spun off. But a lot of hard-fought races that year between Williams and McLaren. McLaren, although did have the upper hand at the beginning of the season, Williams soon caught up and produced what was a better car. Unreliable at the beginning of the season, and a lot of mistakes from Mansell and the Williams team throughout the year pretty much gave McLaren the championship that year. So 1991, although it was McLaren's year, it could have been so much different. And the car would also go on to be used in the first, I think it was the first 2 races of 1992, but the car was unreliable, uncompetitive, and was quickly replaced by the MP4-7. Sadly, a car I do not have. But yeah, it sort of the last of the all-conquering Senna years. But Senna will still have a couple of good more years of winning races in uncompetitive machines. Or not uncompetitive, but not high standards as he's been used to. But that's that, and that is 1991. Now for the model itself, it is a very, very big car, as you can tell. It's of course the big wheels for that year, as you'd expect. All die-cast as well, so it's a very heavy, well, not quite as heavy as I thought actually, because I have just reviewed the MP4-25, and that is a very, very big car. I mean, that's huge. So yeah, there is a big weight difference, a bit of size difference though. If you look, the car is absolutely huge. If I tip it up, you can sort of get an idea of the size of this thing. So I'm trying not to touch it as much as I can, but there's the top view of the car. You get all the nice sculpting of the side pods and the massive tyres and that. Got a lot of detail on the cockpit as well, so we just zoom in there. You got the riveting around the windscreen there. You've got a bit of painted detail on the steering wheel and the dashboard. Try to get a better look at that. So I'm trying to get as much viewed as I can. So we just look in there, and a bit of detailing on there. Does the steering wheel turn? It does. Yeah, it turns quite well actually. And this is the Minichamps version as well. I should have pointed that out at the beginning, but I'll put that in the title anyway. So this is the Minichamps version. I think was it True Scale Models made a version as well, but I don't think that was very well received. I think that was a bit too bulky. Sort of in general, I think they sort of made it a bit too big, but hey ho, that's no big issue, not on my front anyway. I wasn't going to buy it anyway, so I was quite happy to pick up this one when I did. I picked this up for £35 off eBay. I think it's one of those situations where the seller did not know the true value of it and just put it as a £35 buy it now. He had his whole Senna collection, he was pumping them out at the same price, and I picked up 2. So I picked up this one, and I also picked up the Lotus 97T, which is another Senna model, so I picked that one up as well, but I sold that one on further, so I sold that one to my brother, so he's got that one somewhere in his collection, so I no longer have that one. And I'll come back to the model in a minute, but we'll just discuss the box. The box is the Senna's first, it's the first edition of the Senna collection, so if I just get the box and close it, so that's the box that come in. So it's the first edition of the Senna collection, so they've been reissued since, and they're all yellow with the green and black stripe representing his helmet design, but this is the first edition with Senna's helmet on there, but the Brazilian flag as well. So the later models, the reissues are just plain all Senna's helmet colour, you know, yellow with the, like I said, green and black stripes. So that is the box, and You've got the labelling down there, so that's that. Like I say, it's the first edition, so they've been reissued since. So that's a trump up my sleeve. So we'll just scurry that back over here. So yeah, it's like I say, it's first edition, but I don't think there's anything different between the two models. So I'll just have a quick look around that way. So quick look at the back end. So you've got the big diffuser at the back there, and you've got all the detailing around the suspension there. Very big tyres, of course, pre-1993. So big fat rubber Goodyear tyres. Got the rear axle down there. Like I said, I'm trying not to touch it as much as I can because I've been moaned at. So that's my model. I do what I like with it. But this thing's been kept in the box since I've had it, so it's only come out a couple of times. So there's no dust or dirt on it, so that's always a bonus. But it's very nicely sculpted. It's very nicely painted as well. You've got the orange or sort of day glow red Marlborough colours, which are very crisply put on, so there's no wear or tear on them at all. And the sculpting of the car is very nicely done as well, so it's all nicely put together. And I haven't got any natural light either. I mean, it's the 31st of May and thunderstorms are approaching, so we haven't got no light here, so I'm using the light above me to illuminate this car. Of course, we've got the decals on the front here, or the decals. You've got the Honda, the number 1, and the shell, and the other shell, and the Goodyear down there. So it's all crisp on this car. This thing hasn't been about very often. Well, it's not been taken out of the box very often, so it's all crisp and clear. You do see some on eBay which have been really tatty and look awful. I mean, some people, you know, you buy some models and they've been in a smoker's home and they're just ruined by the nicotine. So that's what I don't like. So we'll have a quick look underneath. Got the diffuser there, and the Ayrton Senna collection there, racing car collection, and a bit of pickup there, a bit of dust. That's off the mat that's on, so that's something that can be wiped off. And a very flat bottom as well, as you'd expect. Basic front wing detail, how it should be. And it scoops under the front wheels. Back in the time when the cars were elegant and they could race each other. Although today's cars are elegant, they cannot race, and judging by that last Monaco Grand Prix, it was well, absolutely dull, wasn't it? Although saying that, the last 3 Monaco Grand Prix, well actually the last 4 Monaco Grand Prix I've watched, only one of them's been worth watching. That was 2016 and it rained. The rest of them I fell asleep during, so hey ho. But yeah, that's modern Formula 1 for you. So have a quick look around the cockpit again. So have a quick look at the Senna figure, because it's packed with detail as usual. So you got all the decals on there. We never miss a trick with the Senna models on the Minichamps branding. So you've got all the decals down there, nicely done. And the engine cover there. All the detailing on the side. I'm trying to get as much in as I can. So you've got the Boss logo, the T-cam on the side. Detail around the rear wing. It's a basic car. I mean, that is how Formula 1 should be. It's aerodynamic, but it's not. There's no fancy bullshit stuck to it. I mean, it's elegant as it should be. I mean, Indy cars still produce an elegant looking car. You know, Indy cars like these days, but they still do a good job of producing an attractive car. As of 2018, that is. The 2016 previous was a bit, or 2017 previous was a bit odd looking, but it's how it should be. So we'll have a front profile now of the McLaren. So there you go, the sort of the McLaren, the stereotypical McLaren look, and we'll lift up and have a nosy on view there. And there you go. Trying to get the light on as well. The light's not very good, so have a quick look that way. And that's a good look in there. I think that's how it should look. That's Formula 1 for you. That is how a Formula 1 car should look, in my opinion, anyway. No more pegs on the noses. I mean, the nose itself is a peg, so that's how a nose should look. A slanted nose. I know they can't do this sort of design in modern Formula 1 because the crash structure is a bit longer and requires a bit more well, not compression, but more crumple zone. So a Formula 1 car of this type would not pass the crash test today, but damn, it looks good. And it's really one I'd recommend. But the pricing of today, though, I don't really know what to do or what to mention or advise for this model. I mean, it's been reissued again. So like I say, it's now in another box, and I don't really know what the price is. What it's really worth. I think if you're going to buy this car, I think the best place is either eBay or CK Models. I think they do the best deals for 1/18 scale models. So if you can go to CK Models. It's a German site and or German shop, and they do they do sales now and then of these sort of things. So I would recommend looking there rather than go to somewhere like Grand Prix Legends. I mean, Grand Prix Legends, they're just ridiculous. They're the online retailer here in the UK, and they get the models in, and then they put another 50% on the price, which is just, you know, fucking ridiculous. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend going through GPL. I'd just go straight to CK Models or have a look around on eBay. But you know, as it's a Senna model, you're going to be paying a lot of money for it anyway, because I mean, anything with Senna on it, people are just going to buy them and cherish themselves. I mean, I bought this one, I basically stole this one as the price, but I was just lucky on the day. But hey ho, there we go. But it's definitely a model I recommend. It looks good in any display cabinet, but sadly I just keep in mind in its box. So hey ho, there we go. But that's really what I've got to say. Have another quick look around the car. So I look over the top, if I zoom down again, so I just want to get all the details in, all the decals, everything's crisp and clear, and yeah, it is all nicely done. And so I've been asked to do the brake discs as well, so we try and get a look at the brake discs on the car. That's something that I sort of leave out, so if I'm trying to lift the car up without snapping anything. So hold it up like that, get the brake discs in there, and they don't look too bad, do it? It's got the big wheels there, and the same on the rear. Can't really see much in there, but yeah, there's a bit of detailing in there. So there's plenty of detail on the car. So like I say, definitely one to collect. If you can buy it at a decent price, then by all means. I don't think there's much difference between this one and the Gerhard Berger version. I think the Gerhard Berger version just comes in a normal that sort of box, so that's a normal Mclaren Minichamps box. So I think the Berger version would come in like one like that. But you know, if you want the Senna one, then by all means, it's the only problem with the Senna one, you can't display it in the box. So that's, you know, it's not a big issue, but keeps it safe. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've got to say. So this is Rich signing off, logging off and disappearing, and that is the McLaren Honda MP4-6, and I shall return with another video, hopefully. So bye for now.